Are you stepping off the hormonal roller coaster and ready to embrace life beyond the menopause? Do you want to be in your best shape for this age of possibility? Then this channel could be for you, so keep on watching to find out how. Hi, I'm Dr Ruth Machin and I would like to warmly welcome you to my new channel, Wise Women's Wellbeing. I can show you how to have a healthy lifestyle as you age gracefully, together with the mindset and techniques that make healthy habits last. What makes me a little different is I like to be led by the science. So if all of this sounds good to you, I'd be incredibly grateful if you could give this video the thumbs up and subscribe below as I grow my new channel. In this video, I'll explain the aims of the channel, how it can help women like you, and a little bit about me. So let's get started. The aims of this channel are to provide education and support by hovering at the intersection of three core principles: evidence, so solutions backed by science; holistic health; and mindset, so the frame of mind to make positive changes. And I'm going to run through each of these in turn. So firstly, evidence. Now, the wellness industry can get a bad reputation with various unqualified influencers flogging dodgy supplements on the internet. So it's not surprising that the medical community and scientific researchers can get a bit skeptical. I want to do things a little bit differently. I want to bring some science to the world of well-being. Now, due to my background, I know how to read a scientific paper and I know how to put it into the bigger context, so the totality of evidence. And what I'd like to create with this channel is a community where we can look at the recommended solutions for our health and well-being and weigh up the science and draw our own conclusions. So number two, health and well-being are holistic. So health is multifaceted. What we eat is incredibly important for our health, as is how we move our body, but not in isolation. Now, I know from personal experience that there's no point changing your diet or trying an exercise routine if you've not addressed your sleep and your stress. If you're stressed to the eyeballs and exhausted from a lack of sleep, then you're simply too tired to move your body. And the science shows that when we are tired, we find it more difficult to make nutritious choices when it comes to food. And we tend to be drawn to foods that are higher in either fat or sugar or both. So on this channel, I'd like to take a holistic view and look at the bigger picture. So number three, mindset and behavior change. Now, here's the truth. New habits are really hard to grow. Behaviour-wise, there has to be a psychological advantage to staying where we are. And that's because it's comforting and, it's easy staying with the status quo, by which I clearly mean the state of affairs, not the band. New stuff is difficult and it takes effort. And this is where the science of behavioural change comes in, because how you view a habit or how you break it down can determine how easy it is to adopt. So on this channel, I'm going to look at how you can change your mindset and the techniques you can use to make healthy habits sustainable and lasting. I'd like to create a community of like-minded postmenopausal women where we can navigate this transitional period of our lives together. So the average age of the menopause is 51. And in the UK, the average life expectancy is 81. So that is, easy maths, 30 years of our lives lived in the postmenopausal period of our lives. So why aren't more people talking about it? There's an awful lot of information on the internet about the perimenopause. And this is entirely correct. It's an incredibly difficult period for a lot of women where mind and body, frankly feel out of control. And there's a lot of women doing amazing work in this space in the field of education. So then what? I think there's a real tendency for older women to almost become invisible. And that's wrong. We don't look like we did at 25. And speaking for myself, my brain doesn't work quite as quick as it did when I was 25. But what we bring to the table is experience and wisdom, and, you know, the wisdom of a life lived well. And yes, it shows up in the wrinkles around our eyes and the stories we tell. I'd like to create a corner of the internet where we can hang out and discuss topics around our health and well-being and, you know, have a bit of a laugh about it. So I hope this sounds good to you. I'd like to create a non-judgmental and inclusive space, and it would be really good if we could get some discussion going in the comments, obviously with the caveat that we are respectful and kind. Which brings us finally to a little bit about me. So the big question is, why should you trust this random woman on the internet? And you shouldn't, frankly. I would always encourage you to go away, do your own research and your own reading, and come to your own conclusions. It's your body and your decisions around what to do with it and what to put inside it. Actually, that sounds wrong. I was talking about food. However, I do think my unique background gives me a degree of legitimacy around this. So I was a doctor here in the UK for 24 years. I worked through a variety of specialties, and in the latter part of my career, I was a radiologist, which is a doctor who looks at scans and x-rays and, you know, comes to a conclusion which helps to give the patient a diagnosis. Now, what this means is you see a huge variety of patients with a huge variety of diseases and then deal with the doctors who are specialists in that. So it means you've got to have a really broad knowledge about how the body works. My particular areas of specialty were diseases of the heart and the lungs. I also performed, reported post-mortem scans to determine cause of death, which makes me sound incredibly weird, I know. And if you'd like a video on that another day, just let me know. So throughout my career, I had a keen interest in medical education, and I particularly enjoyed taking complex topics and breaking them down into their constituent parts to make them easier to understand, which again, I'm hoping I can bring to this channel. So it all went very pear-shaped in 2020, and I developed a chronic pain condition involving my eyes called corneal neuralgia, which is why I wear the slightly weird glasses and sometimes do some heavy blinking. I can't help it, I'm afraid. It's just one of my little quirks, and you'll have to get used to it, sorry. Where was I? Yes, so this was not compatible with staring at 4 computer screens all day, every day. And unfortunately, I had to take ill health retirement from a job I loved. And that obviously led to a bit of a temporary lack of purpose. And I used some of this time to evaluate my well-being and my work-life balance in my previous career, and found it horribly skewed in favor of work. So I was very stressed a lot of the time. It affected my sleep. I was too tired to exercise, and my lunch was normally a sandwich sort of grabbed at my desk whilst working. So I went about trying to break it down and rebuild each of these steps. So now I sleep more, I stress less, a lot less. I eat really well, and I move daily. And the irony is that apart from my eyes, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. So I wanted to take this and help other women to do the same. So I keep saying so a lot. I went and I studied for a 12-month diploma in health coaching. So now I'm a registered health coach. So was this enough? No, clearly not. I last September decided to go back to university, age 50, and I'm doing a master's in nutrition. And don't get me wrong, it was a great decision and I'm really enjoying it. But just every so often, my poor brain says, what are you doing to me? Can I please go and lie down in a dark room now? Just stop. So what all of this means is, although I no longer practice as a doctor, what I do have in my head is like a medical degree's worth of knowledge about how the body works, together with a psychology degree and my training as a coach about how behavior works. So I'm hoping that this can be really useful on this channel. And a final but really important point is that this channel is for entertainment purposes and education purposes. It's not to be viewed, categorically not to be viewed as medical advice. So if you ever have any specific concerns about your health, you need to go and talk to your doctor and not talk to the internet. And well, folks, that's a wrap. So I have explained what I want to achieve with this channel and how you can get involved. And I hope you're as excited about it as I am. I'll be posting videos every Friday around lunchtime in the UK. So if you've ever got any questions or suggestions of things you'd like me to discuss, I'll put my email address in the information below. So until next week, live well.